All right, let's be real for a second. Does thinking about your retirement income feel, well, more stressful than it does exciting? If you're nodding along, you are definitely not alone. So in this explainer, we're going to break down a really powerful strategy that's not just about growing your money, but about building a reliable income stream so you can finally get some peace of mind.
So, let me just ask you straight up. Is your current retirement plan actually built for peace of mind? Or, does it feel more like this constant low-level buzz of anxiety in the background? Because the whole point of retiring is to stop worrying about money, right? Not to invent new ways to stress over it.
Okay, so what's the deal? What's the main thing that can really mess up an otherwise peaceful retirement? Let's dig into the core problem that trips up so many investors.
You know this feeling if you've ever tried building your portfolio by picking individual stocks. It's that constant worry. You're watching the news, your heart sinks when there's a bad earnings report. I mean, you're basically carrying the fate of one single company on your shoulders. That's a full-time job at a time in your life when you're supposed to be relaxing.
But here's the good news. There's a much calmer way to do this. If the stress of picking single stocks is the problem, then dividend ETFs are a pretty amazing solution. So let's talk about what these things are and why they can be such a game changer.
So what in the world is a dividend ETF? Well, think about it like this. Imagine you're at the store. Instead of stressing over which apple, which banana, which orange to buy, you just grab a pre-made fruit basket. It's got a great mix of everything all bundled up for you. A dividend ETF is that exact same idea, but for stocks. It's one single investment that holds a whole basket of different companies that pay out dividends. Simple as that.
And this is where the real magic happens. Why this brings that peace of mind we're talking about. For starters, you get regular income sent your way. On top of that, you get what's called built-in diversification. That just means if one company in the basket has a bad quarter, it's not a disaster. And that, of course, leads to way lower emotional stress for you. And finally, these funds are super transparent. They follow clear rules so you always know exactly what you're invested in.
Okay, but here's where it gets kind of cool. Not all dividend ETFs are the same. They're kind of built with different game plans in mind. Think of it like taking two different roads to get to the same awesome destination. Let's look at two really popular examples, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So, in one corner, you've got something like SCHD. You can think of this one as the quality control expert. It's super focused on companies with strong financials and a proven track record of paying dividends. This is for someone who really values dependability. Then, in the other corner, you have something like VYM. This is the cast-a-wide net approach. Its goal is to own a huge number of high-dividend stocks, giving you massive exposure across the market. It's kind of perfect for that set-it-and-forget-it mindset. So, now we've got these incredible tools in our toolbox. But, a really strong retirement plan probably shouldn't depend on the economy of just one single country. It's time to think a little bigger. It's time to go global. This is a trap so many people fall into. The US market is huge, sure, but at the end of the day, it's still just one market. Let me ask you this. Would you ever bet your entire retirement on just one company? No way, right? So why would you bet it all on just one country? And this is exactly why going global is such a powerful move. Suddenly, you're not totally dependent on the ups and downs of the US economy. You're adding another layer of protection by spreading your money across different currencies in different parts of the world. And you get access to all these other amazing dividend-paying companies that you'd otherwise just miss out on.
So how do you put all these pieces together? Well, think of it like building a house. First, you pour a solid foundation. That's your core of high-quality U.S. funds, something like an SCHD. Then, you put up the walls with a broader, high-yield fund like VYM to give you that wide exposure. And finally, you put the roof on. That's your international funds, protecting you from any single economic storm.
Okay, before we finish up, we have to cover a few last but really important points. Think of this as the final checklist you run through before you get started.
So, just keep these three things in mind. First, taxes. Your dividend income is usually taxable, so you have to be smart about which type of account you hold these in. Second, remember that even though the income is steady, the price of the ETF itself can still go up and down with the market. And third, keep an eye on what are called expense ratios. They're like these tiny fees, but over many years, they can really add up and impact your returns.
And all of this leads to the most important rule in all of investing. There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all plan. Any strategy has to be built around your goals, your timeline, and your personal situation. And that's why it's almost always a great idea to chat with a qualified financial pro who can help you build a plan that's just right for you. I think this quote from the source material just nails it. It says, "For those seeking a retirement strategy that prioritizes clarity over complexity, dividend ETFs offer a compelling solution." And really, that's the whole idea, isn't it? Finding a strategy that's clear, that makes sense, and that you can stick with for the long run.
So we'll leave you with this last question. It's not just about peace of mind, it's about confidence. After hearing all of this, take a good hard look at your own portfolio and just ask yourself, is it really built to give you the confidence you need and deserve for your future? Thanks so much for tuning in. Now go build a retirement you can actually be excited about.